my idea was not to make any money out of this. Is not the point. So that's why it's free to view. It's free to download. You don't have to seek my permission to copy it. When I send you the DVD, people are free to just copy it and send it to their friends who can copy it. I don't want to have money coming back to me because that's not the point of the exercise. But it's going out to thousands of people, so I'm pretty happy about that.
You should be.
Yeah.
Well, we were talking to you the other night in preparation for this. I'm going to have to cut away from your image now. You were telling us about some photographs that you're selling. I'm pulling them up now. You could probably see them on the monitor.
I can see them behind you.
Yeah.
Nice.
Well, I mean, as you guys know, I've been doing origami for many, many years. And I, in fact, in 2007, at the request of James Randi, I invented the origami Pegasus, which has also taken on a life of its own. You can see that at TAM. And not long ago, I just thought, I wonder what it would be like to make nice photographs of these things I create and fold from other people's creation. And I've really, really gotten into photography lately, and I've made all these photographs which will be soon on display in Sydney.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you. I printed them out, nice big ones. They're all framed. And there's a cafe that many Sydney people might know, especially if they know the suburb of Newtown, which is 2042 Cafe and Deli in King Street, Newtown. From the 11th of this month, I will be exhibiting my artworks there for about 6 weeks, and people can drop by and have a look. And if they buy them, then that helps me cover things like getting myself over to the amazing meeting and continuing working on the Skeptic Zone.
Yeah. Those are beautiful. I mean, it's such an interesting combination of photography and origami. You know, I don't know, has anyone ever done that before? It's really, I love it. It's really artistic.
Thank you. It's it's a lot of effort. For every one that I'm pleased with, there are about 6 that just don't cut it. Because it's like any artistic endeavor. And I found some wonderful paper, Rossi handmade paper from Italy, and I've also made some and just framed them.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Wow,
Look at that pattern.
It's such a good application of that art form, Richard. I mean, the photographs are gorgeous. I think that's really cool. Very, very smart.
They immortalize the origami, which is otherwise could be fleeting because it's so fragile.
Right.
Yes, I guess you're right. It's also pleasing for me to know things like the origami Pegasus is on the internet and people fold it all around the world. So that's it's sort of like a little bit of immortality for a creative person to have something that other people do and copy around the world. That's not much to do with skepticism, I know, but it's something I've been doing lately.
Well, Richard, I'd like to tell our audience how awesome you were to us when we came to Australia in November. Richard and his brother drove us around for a week, pretty much. They helped us get around to all the places that we needed to go. There was one actually pretty significant road trip that we took where Richard manned the steering wheel, and we just had a wonderful time with the both of you.
It was fantastic. We had 2 buses full of SGU people, and Geo was there and family members. We drove these buses from Sydney to Canberra, the nation's capital, where you gave some public appearances there. Yeah. And we had a great time. And then one day we went to sort of a wildlife area, and it's endlessly amusing for Australians to see people like you look at something we consider to be mundane and get your cameras out and go crazy over it. Yes.
Yeah.
Well, what would you do if you came here? You would see a cardinal and go, "Ooh, a cardinal! I've never seen one of those before."
I don't even know what one of those is, but I tell you what I do. Every time I come to the States and I see a squirrel, I go, "Wow, that's amazing! Look at that!"
All right, we get it.
So silly.
But apart from that, I must say how amazing it is for you guys to knock up or reach 10 years there. That's incredible. The Skeptic Zone podcast has been going since 2008, so I'm trying to catch up.
Yeah, you'll get there. Well, by percentage-wise, getting closer.
How many episodes do you have?
Today, in fact, in 2 or 3 or 4 hours, I'm going to publish episode 341.
Wow, not bad.
That's good.
Isn't that cute?
Yeah. We published 512 today.
Yeah.
Yeah, right, okay.
Show off.
There you go. But my current crop of reporters really are what make the show. We've got Maynard, who's one of our longest reporters now.
I love him. He's awesome.
He's fantastic, and he's interviewed all you guys. He runs around like a lunatic at all the meetings. He's come to Tampa. And he's also a fantastic voiceover man. And if anybody in the world needs some voiceover action, apart from Jay, of course, Maynard.com.au is the website to go to. Fantastic guy. Joe Alabaster, who's been doing so much work for us at evidenceplease.net. And we've got some people up in the Northern Rivers area of this state, New South Wales, which is the heart of the anti-vaccination land, who have set up the Northern Rivers Vaccination Supporters right in Wu Central. They're pressing the immunization message, which is fantastic. nrvs.info is their site. Dr. Raichi, of course, who's been with the Skeptic Zone right from the beginning, although at the moment her important scientific works means that she's very busy and doesn't contribute as much as she used to, but she's always welcome to come back on. So it's the people involved who have made the Skeptic Zone what it is, and it's the only reason I can keep doing it, and that with the support of listeners all around the world. And when I get people in places like Hungary or Sweden or something like that writing to me, and I help them out with whatever I can, one of the philosophies of the Skeptic Zone, one of the reasons I do it is because in every episode I run promotions for other skeptical groups. You know, I feel that's really important. So every episode we'll run a promotion for the Irish skeptics or the Swedish skeptics, the Russian skeptics, the French podcast about skepticism. Jay, you owe me a new teaser for SGU, I think.
I would be happy anytime.
So I can run that one again because I've been running. In fact, I think the longest one I've been running ever since the beginning of the Skeptic Zone is Pamela Gay, Astronomy. I've been running that one. So, and I get wonderful feedback, and as I'm sure you guys do, from all around the world. It's just incredible. Up pops in my inbox something from Iceland or something from Norway or whatever the case may be.
Yeah, that's been such a huge part of this experience. I know, and you have a similar experience. Is just connecting with people all across the globe. We at one point we had someone who was in a nuclear submarine. I didn't say the word correctly. In a submarine underneath the Arctic shelf, listening to our podcast. I mean, that blew our minds. Like, are you kidding me? Like, it's just incredible the connections that we've made. And you are one of the people that we never would have met, Richard, if it weren't for the internet and for podcasting and for skepticism.
That's right.
That's absolutely true. And every now and then I ask my listeners, what are you doing when you listen to the Skeptic Zone? And people write back saying, I'm mowing the lawn, I'm on the bus, I'm doing the dishes, I'm walking the dog, I'm driving this long distance truck, for overnight, and I'm listening to the Skeptic Zone, and they would probably listen to SGU and other skeptical podcasts. So to be part of every week, to be part of people's lives all around the planet, it's quite something. And every now and then I really do stop and think about it.
Richard, do you want to play science or fiction with us?
Last time I won,
Yes.
I've got a friend here to help me. Hang on.
You good, Ev?
Yeah, I'm right.
Oh, yeah. What do you say?
Okay,
Richard.
Oh my God! What the?
This is James Ryan.
Okay. I think these are. No, where are mine? Here we go.
So Steve.
All right. So
Got you in a little window, Richard. Can you read these on the back of the panel behind me? Probably not.
No, I can't.
I'll read. You'll have to just listen.
All right.
Okay, here we go. So these are 3 items. These are pseudosciences. 2 of these are real pseudosciences, and 1 is a pseudoscience I made up.
okay.
Got it?
Got it.
All right. So the first one, the Bates Vision Correction System claims to correct vision by staring. That should be staring. By staring in particular compass directions, aligning the eyes with the Earth's magnetic field.
Oh God.
Right.
Okay, number 2, Dr. Randall Mills claims that he has a process to make hydrogen atoms shrink into hydrinos, providing a source of free energy.
Doesn't even make sense.
Right.
And item number 3, the new chronology claims that events attributed to ancient Greek, Roman, and Egyptian culture actually occurred in the Middle Ages, and that recorded human history began around 800 AD.
Right.
You got that? So the first one is staring in compass directions to align your eyes with the magnetic fields. 2 is shrinking hydrogen atoms into hydrinos. And 3 is that ancient history is a fiction and it all happened in the Middle Ages. So which one of those is the fake pseudoscience?
So which one is the fake?
The fake.
The fake.
Have you heard of any of these?
No, but I somewhere around this house I've got a 3-sided dice, you know. They all sound pretty loopy. I mean, they could easily be. You could have made up all 3 of them, as far as I'm concerned. And without googling anything, I'm going to opt for. I'm going to opt for the second one, the atoms, the hydrogen atoms,
The hydrinos.
Oh, boy.
the hydrinos, because I can see people trying to sell the first one because they sell all sorts of useless therapies to people, and I can see people buying the last one because there's a lot of people out there who are simply confused about the age of history and things like that. So I'm going to opt for number 2, the hydrinos.
The hydrinos. Okay, Bob, the vision, hydrinos, or the new chronology? Which one is the fake
Can I look
fiction?
at them again?
Oh, come on, please.
Come on. This is totally not fair because...
Wait, when did fair ever come into this?
Yeah, good point. I mean, because...
Bob, just once. Go
No
with your
way.
gut. Just once.
Come on, you can do it. Don't think.
This is knowledge of pseudoscience. What else is more central to skepticism?
I hear you,
brain
but-
and choose the right,
All right,
one.
Bob, people are actually watching you and they're bored right now. Just pick one. People, I'm one of them.
Hydrinos
There you
fiction.
go.
think hydrinos
And I'll
are
pick hydrinos too, because if you take a hydrogen atom and shrink it, you're starting with hydrogen. It's not free energy. I pick that one.
Okay.
I'll say the magnetic field. Aligning eyes with the Earth's magnetic
Yes.
field. How would you even do? How are they going to know?
Compass directions. It says
By
it right
compass
there.
direction?
North, south, east, west?
No.
Okay.
Wrong.
So you all agree that the new chronology claims that events attributed to ancient Greek, Roman, and Egyptian culture actually occurred in the Middle Ages, and that recorded human history began around 800 AD. You all think that one is a real pseudoscience.
Yes.
Pseudoscience, yeah.
And that one is real. That's a real pseudoscience.
Ridiculous.
Isn't it? I mean,
Recorded human history began around 800
I would imagine they do
AD.
that because they don't want things to be older than what the Bible says.
no, this is not. I don't.
nice.
This is just a alternate history.
Okay.
You know, it's.
Who made this up? You know the person? New chronology?
Yeah, the new chronology.
Just ridiculous.
There's a number of people who promote it, but it's. Yes, I mean, scholars think it's totally full of shit because
Gee,
because
it is.
Yeah, when you'd have to like completely toss out all of our carbon dating and it essentially says like this is a massive sort of conspiracy almost to fabricate this history, so that imagine everything is about 1,000. Nothing's older than about 1,000 years old.
Yeah.
It's just I mean
That's
it's hard to
ridiculous.
imagine. Okay. We'll go back to number 1.
It's going to be the compass. I'm wrong.
Debates vision correction systems claims to correct vision by staring in particular compass directions, aligning the eyes with the Earth's magnetic field. Evan, you think this one is the fake.
Fake.
The rest of you think this one is the real fake. And this one is the fake.
Fake.
Evan,
Thank you.
congratulations.
Oh,
I
damn.
knew it.
I'm doing so bad this year, it's ridiculous.
It makes sense because the other ones you can kind of hide in the depths of history for the third one. The atoms, who knows what's
Bob, are you
happening
trying to
there.
argue that the other ones are more or less ridiculous than this
Yes,
one?
absolutely.
Oh, yeah, in hindsight.
No. If you listened before we
weren't
even said
ridiculous.
anything, I changed my mind, but I know it was
Yeah.
too late. My point is that the 2 and 3 you can hide because it's an atom. It's history. But the compass direction and fixing your vision is more blatant. It's more obvious.
But you're wrong
And
because
then-
the Bates vision correction system is a real pseudoscience. It's just based on something else.
You said fake.
Yeah, no, but it's not magnetic field. That's the part that I
Borrowed the
know.
title.
Okay.
My point is that there are fake systems of fixing your eyes by doing crazy shit. You know,
Okay.
like staring into the sun. Did you realize that there's a
Yeah, what-
pseudoscience
that's
based on
right.
staring into the
Yes.
sun? Because it gives you the life energy or whatever. Or colored lenses is very common, or prisms. There's all kinds of crazy stuff associated with it. Just not the magnetic field.
Yeah.
So I made that one up.
Yeah, 'cause that's obviously crazy.
All right, but Dr. Randall Mills claims that he has a process to make hydrogen atoms shrink into hydrinos, providing a source of free energy. That is a real fake. That's a real pseudoscience.
Hydrinos, huh?
Hydrinos, free energy from
He made
hydrinos.
that term up as well.
Because you have the
Part-
ground state,
Okay.
and then the hydrinos are below the ground state.
Below
you
the
can-
ground
You
state.
can get energy out of it.
Shrinking a hydrogen atom.
What are you shrinking?
What are you
God.
shrinking? That was a lot of fun. I mean, you know.
No, it wasn't. My science
I thought it
fiction
was
blew
the best
yours
one yet
away.
this year.
My science fiction was the best.
Well, what about my science fiction?
I have one too.
I mean, I'm enjoying looking at the Twitter stream. Our friends from Hungary are laughing at that real pseudoscience.
Richard's
I mean,
laughing.
gosh.
Bob takes science fiction very seriously.
A little too.
All right, my science
There's
fiction,
a-
I won't do my science fiction, but I'll tell you my idea. My idea was that these were science news items from the month or the week that we started our show, May 2005.
That's a cool idea.
I thought it was a great
Yeah,
idea.
we'll do it next time.
Do it next week.
Yeah, now you know where to look to find out exactly.
Why did you tell us?
I didn't tip my
Because I
hand.
never thought we'd cover it, ever. All that work for naught.
There's a talk I give, and one of the segments is I say it's easy to make up pseudoscience, and I go to a website and I put up all these words like crystal and energy, and I give the woo definitions, and I say let's make up a pseudoscience. Let's do it, and I list something like quantum energy, house cleaning, and all this sort of stuff, and people get a giggle, and then I put up the real advertising from New Age magazine, and it's word for word, verbatim, what I've just put up as gobbledygook. But it's taken, it's real, real. It's real fake,
If we were to apply our efforts towards making pseudosciences and really selling them to people, we could really pull the wool over a lot of
I wish we
people's
were
eyes.
unethical. You know, sucks that we're not unethical.
Because we know all the tricks.
If only we
know
could use
all-
our powers for evil instead of good.
We're trying to make the world a better place. I mean,
for us.
if we were, look, all right, I'll sell it to you. Ready, Ev?
Yeah.
If we were doing that and trying to make money and rob people, we wouldn't know Richard Saunders. We wouldn't know
that's
Phil
true.
Plate. We wouldn't know George Robb, right? Like, look
Yeah,
at all
but
these
so
people
what?
that
We
We would
now.
know them because they'd all be against us. And
There might be
railing
some.
against us.
Right. There might
You
be
think there's
some.
an evil version of Richard Saunders that
There
we'd be
might
friends
be.
with
There
right
could
now?
He has a goatee.
There could be some cool charlatans out there. You never know. You know, there might be nice charlatans.
Now they're all assholes.
Okay. Damn.
there might be a rich version of Richard Saunders out there.
Well, yeah,
He's-
that goes without saying.
I did just forget to mention our other reporter and a good friend of all of us, and someone I know you respect, is Iran Segev,
Oh,
who
yeah.
was the president of
Ron's very
Ukraine.
cool.
Awesome. What a wonderful person.
What a great activist he is, and he does reports in bursts. He's good at doing interviews at conventions and things like that, and I'll run a whole series of his interviews and stuff like that. But yeah, just getting back to that point, it's the people involved. I mean, I couldn't just sit here week after week and churn out a show which goes for 40 minutes to an hour every week just by myself. It's forget about it. After all these years, it's the people that support the skeptic zone in all capacities that really make it possible.
Yeah, definitely. Same with us.
Yeah, it's the whole community. I mean, this is a good time to point out the fact that we've had a whole crew of people making this show possible and supporting us technically, and and with the logistics and everything in making it happen.
Yep.
And you
They
see
come
the
from
four of
far
us.
and wide, corners of the country to make this 10-hour show happen. Just this.
Yeah, definitely.
It's fantastic.
Yeah, it's absolutely true, and it was great. I was just tuning in before. It was great to see Joe. I met Joe, was it last year at the Amazing Meeting?
Yeah.
I think I met Joe, which was a thrill for me to meet the another novella.
The other brother.
Whoa.
Yeah.
There's another one.
And
We have a spare
There's another
in case
one,
one of
and
these
I know
guys drop off.
And I know all your families too. It's what a thrill it is to see. Just in Australia at the end of last year, see the whole tribes plural. It was just fantastic.
I know,
to
Richard,
catch up
could you
with.
imagine
It was.
we did it twice already? You know what I mean? Like, it's already...
Yeah.
There'll be another.
I am
hope.
totally looking forward to another round. I would love to do it
Absolutely.
again.
With a smaller crew. Less than 20.
Less than
Less than
20?
20.
Okay.
Tighter
It
crew.
was insane.
Hey, the future's bright. The future's looking bright. I think it's also occurs to me all the years we've been doing this, your show and my show, there has been big changes. That really have. When I started doing the Skeptic Zone, the Australian Vaccination Network, which were our chief anti-vaccination people here in Australia, were very prominent and making a big impact. And they've been really reduced into dust now. They're becoming an irrelevance. And that is not easy. It's been a lot of hard work.
Oh, it's you.
Without a doubt.
Oh, yeah.
Incredibly
you, Dr.
impressive
Raichi,
work.
Everyone down there. Everyone.
And, at the end of the day, we don't want to... we don't wish people ill. We just want to get good reason and good science out there, and we want to prevent babies from dying of preventable diseases. Yeah. I mean, it's just it's the motivation's so easy. I think the core of it.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. So, Richard, are you going to do podcasting for the next 5 to 10 years? Are you dedicated? We're looking for commitment from people today, our fellow podcasters.
I don't even know if I'll do it for the end of this week.
Well, Richard, you may not have heard earlier, but I made everybody commit to at least 5 more years of SGU.
Holy mackerel. If you keep doing SGU for 5 more years, I'll be a rogue every now and then, all right? I'll commit to that.
All right.
That works.
That's good enough.
Okay, well, the message for Skeptic Zone fans is that right now, I've got no plans to stop doing the show. It comes out every week. It's been coming out every week since September 2008. I love doing things like the Amazing Meeting, and later on in the year, we've got the Australian Skeptics National Convention, which is October in Brisbane, convention.brisbaneskeptics.org. And these are wonderful times to go up with a microphone and get 6, 7, 8 weeks worth of interviews, which helps a lot. I mean, a show like mine, which is report-based, segment-based, to get a backlog of interviews makes my job a lot better. So at the moment, no, I've got no plans to stop doing the show. Although some weeks,
yeah, of course, fatigue sets in after show 300. We know.
Then you get a nice stretch in the 400s.
Yeah.
That was easy.
Yeah. Richard, you've been an amazing friend to us since we met you, and in a compatriot for the cause, and we want you to know we appreciate you and the work that you do.
Thank you, and it's mutual. You are and continue to be an inspiration not only to me in the Skeptic Zone, but obviously to people all around the world, and that's wonderful that we know that through the wonderful feedback we get.
Thank you, Richard. All right, take care, brother. Yep. We'll talk to you again soon.
See you at TAM.
Here we are.
SkepticZone.tv.
Zone, man.
Listen, learn.
Take care.
Bye, Richard. Talk to you soon.
All right, Steve.
Yeah.
I would like to have
Now what?
Phil and Dennis come over here real quick so we can introduce everyone to the people that two very important part of our crew that made this happen. Spot.
Can we just hand him a mic? Just have him share it? Or just have him hold a mic?
Yeah, you could just put it here and have them hold it.
Yeah, so as we were saying, I mean, really, a ton of people went into pulling this off. Obviously, Jay and I worked really hard for the last 3 months, and Bob and Evan as well. Our brother Joe helped build the set. Phil has been our video technical advisor for a long time and helped us on the offshoots. You were the DP on the offshoots. You're doing post-production for us.
That mic.
And you ran the cameras for 10 hours. And Dennis, you work with Bob.
Yep.
He brought you in for this. This is your first time working with the SGU.
Yes.
But you were invaluable. I mean, we ran into so many technical hurdles. I don't think we would have pulled this off if you weren't able to get us over those hurdles. It was just so complicated.
I don't think we'd run into as many as we did, but I'm glad we got through them. I thought it'd be a lot smoother, but I'm glad we got everything working just in time, and this turned out to be a pretty good success. So
yeah,
well, thanks.
I've been working with Dennis for a few years now, so I know he's a master troubleshooter, very technical,
That's what we
really
needed.
good. I knew he would be invaluable, and I'm glad he was as valuable as he was.
It was amazing. We were, in bad shape at one point. We were very scared. We wanted the technology to really land, and he really made it happen. Phil has been my mentor in all of my film efforts. Everything I've ever done, Phil has been pretty much a part of. And Phil, thank you very much.
It's been fun.
Yeah, it has been. We have a lot of fun together. I mean, Phil came in here. I set all the cameras up and all the lights up just for testing purposes. And Phil came in and he very politely just undid every single thing that I did and set it up expertly, Just did a masterful job of making the studio look awesome and lighting particular things. There was 100 details that Phil and my wife Courtney actually were, picking out and making the set look perfect. So thank you so much. And Phil's been switching and everything. He's been manning the switcher board for the cameras the whole time.
And we have to name the other people who have been our technical support for today. Hans has been our audio engineer. Hans, you can't see him, but he's behind the cameras over there. Hans works for Nexus, is how we met him, and he does an excellent job for Nexus. So we recruited him to do our 10-hour show. Joel Bellucci is our special effects expert and also runs our WordPress installs on our website. And he made the intro video that you saw at the beginning of the show.
Very nice.
And he's been just helping out. And of course, Jay's wife, Courtney, is always our director, always the person who just makes everything happen.
Yeah, she does so much.
Jack of all hard to know how else to say it. She's just like the person who just makes things happen. So just.
Then we have Todd Weekly, who is a construction manager. He helped us an enormous amount with the OC project, and he's here. He was here as backup. I told Todd. He goes, "Do you think you'll need me?" I go, "Probably not, but if let's say the set falls apart." He's like, "Okay, I'll be there. What time is it?" You know what I mean? So,
the set didn't fall apart,
but it was just good to have you here. Thank you for that.
So, how much more time do we got?
We have about 20 minutes.
20 minutes.
29.
30 minutes. Exactly 30 minutes.
30 minutes. All right, guys.
Thank you both.
Let's close out the show with some cool content.
All right, Steve, are we going to run a video?
What video? I don't think so. This?
No, we have.
Oh yeah.
We could take a quick video that Joshi Berger made. This is street skepticism.
Yes.
Joshi style, and we're hoping that it's over the top.
Stand clear of the closing doors, please.
This is in your face with Joshi. Do you know what the word skeptic means?
Sure.
What does a skeptic mean?
Well, it means that you don't immediately buy into the topic, but you test it out.
Do you believe in astrology?
In astrology in general, yes, I do.
That universal binding force is holographic and fractal. And there's plenty of evidence when you actually see the solar system and the cells and the atoms, they work together.
Are you a skeptic? You know what homeopathy is, actually?
I mean, my understanding of it is just natural remedies.
Do you believe in ghosts?
No, but I've experienced them, but I don't believe in them.
If they were to agree that there is evidence of a creator, this whole entire materialistic world would dissolve.
Don't you think the world today is better than it was 2,000 years ago?
No.
100 years ago, every single country on this planet was either in war, going out of war, or about to get into war. Right now, you cannot even think of the United States invading France. Why is that? Were you going through a difficult time in your life at that point?
At that point, I was coming out of a difficult time.
Okay. So you were seeking happiness.
You open an orange, right?
Correct.
And when you open the orange and you take out the peel and you look amongst it, there's lines in the orange that
Correct.
Move around. Symmetric lines that are 1.6 inches away from each other.
A lot of people will use the term quantum to describe interconnected phenomena.
Things that they don't understand. How would you define organic?
I would say that organic is a system that grows plants the way that they should be grown.
Right now, if you have one kind of GMO corn, that something happens to that, you're out of a food source.
I am telling you that corporations that create the GMOs have done all sorts of studies, and my guess is, and it's an educated guess, is that studies that are not favorable are buried.
How is this more than just singing songs and being happy?
I'm quoting George Harrison, and this is what he said, because he was a part of our movement as well. And he said, the proof of the pudding is in the eating.
Your top lip and your nose is between 1.6 inches away from that. Parts of the universe.
What does that have to do with anything?
Mathematically, everything aligns to each other.
Why doesn't this appeal to all the scientists in the world? Why do most mainstream scientists not see eye to eye with you on this matter?
The reason, well, first of all, they don't meditate, but second, and that's a very important thing, because if you start to look into Ken Wilber's research and you look into a lot of the other research, it pretty much shows, even Harvard's showing this now, that people that meditate 40 minutes a day grow new brain matter.
Actually, the first time I experienced what we're doing out here, this type of chanting, which we call kirtan, that's the first time I ever found that happiness, that peace, that contentment, that feeling of like coming home.
I'm saying if you're doing non-GMO food and you want to cater to a crowd that's non-GMO, then label it non-GMO. But why force people that are GMO to say that they're GMO? Just like companies that are... It's not the point. What is a company... Wait, but I'm showing you the analogy. What is a non-kosher place ashamed of to say we are not kosher? Why could you not force all companies to say they're kosher or not, or halal or not, or every type of eating that you want?
Well, if you want to go to extremes, I imagine you could do that.
Isn't GMO an extreme?
That is not a society that I don't want to live in.
Why then is the consensus among scientists that GMOs are safe?
Most scientists that I've heard have question marks.
Who do you think are the foundations behind funding science projects?
I don't know. You tell me.
Governments.
Were you going through a period in your life when you were looking for happiness, like a lot of our viewers are?
100%. Yeah, I was looking, searching, seeking, just finished graduated college, and I was looking for something deeper than the 9 to 5.
Do you believe 9/11 was anything but what the real story is?
I believe that there's a lot more complicated stories behind everything we hear about in the press.
The whole country has been turned upside down because the family has been corrupted.
They try to focus. On nothing, you know?
For instance, can you postulate a theory as to what happened above and beyond 19 hijackers taking down 2 buildings?
Oh, there's a million theories about that.
Could you give me one? Do you believe that we've been on the moon?
I believe that I am everything and everything is me.
I think it would not take thousands of people to be involved in a plot.
What about the fact that 1/5 of our planet goes to bed hungry every night and they can be fed through genetically modified organisms?
At this particular point in time, not necessarily 40 years down, but right now, there's enough food to go around. It's not, in most of the world, it's not being delivered because of the profit effect.
7 or 8 people could know the whole story. Nobody else needs to know the whole story.
People that are planting explosives don't need to know why they're doing it?
No, they don't need to know why.
But they will know that they're doing it.
They will know that they're doing it.
We transmigrate.
And where do we go?
We go to a different body.
Do all humans go to a different body?
Of course.
How about all animals?
Of course, according to their desires. You've already went to a different body this life.
Do you think that approaching chess from a sort of mathematical, which is a scientific approach, has helped you in life look at other things and eliminate superstitions?
Sure. I mean, what I found chess, I teach Kabbalah.
I have to be able to prove to an independent inspector that I am abiding by good practices. Chemical farmers don't have any such thing to do at all.
So you're saying that chemical farmers have no regulations that they abide by?
I'm not saying that.
If you had a headache right now, and I told you, here, take Tylenol, it was invented X amount of years ago, where modern medicine has been giving people heart transplants, you'd say, okay. And if another person said, here's a medicine that was invented 2,000 years ago, you wouldn't take it because you would assume I want something recent that has the modern medicine in it. Why would you take a book of morality from 2,000 years ago as opposed to something morally that was written 20 years ago?
Now, a lot of people don't know this, but Isaac Newton actually got a lot of his information from the Kabbalah. You could verify that too. Go online.
But Isaac Newton is considered a quack among scientists now for some of his beliefs.
I like reading my horoscope to say, oh, it says I'm going to find $10 today. To be honest, I really don't know.
All I can say is try it, and that's the only way you're going to know.
But what if someone says that if he took 10 children in a room and he got them to sing The Wheels on the Bus Go Round, 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 that they would be as enthusiastic and as excited as everyone here would be? What would your response be, that this is a different level of happiness? Do you have any superstitious beliefs?
Well, of course.
For instance?
spiders are bad, but they're not. They're good.
Well, that's not a superstitious belief. That's one of the inherent things that we are.
A superstitious belief if you have an impression based on mythology, etc., that spiders
correct.
are
But spiders are one of the natural fears that humans have. We're scared of heights. We're scared of the dark. Snakes. Yeah, it's one of the basic ones that I assume that we evolved to fear. How about my dog? Does my dog go somewhere?
He's gonna go to a different body.
A cat?
Cat will go to a different body.
Squirrel. A goldfish.
All living entities.
How small does it have to go? Does bacteria go to a different body?
Absolutely.
How about a virus?
Wherever there's life.
So, really, in every single thing, I've right now in my body millions of bacteria. They all go to a different body?
Going to a different body.
I wanted to know why I'm on a spinning rock called planet Earth that's hurling through the universe, and no one seems to know what I'm doing here.
You saying bacteria goes to heaven?
The microscopic world too. I mean,
they go to heaven as well.
Like antibodies and little.
Does the AIDS virus go to heaven?
I don't think so.
That feeling of happiness, it's like compounding. The more you do it, the more purification.
It's like the wheels on the bus cubed.
I said I don't think that anything that I believe is evidence-based, meaning everything that I truly and deeply believe in comes from within myself, and that is my own form of evidence.
You really believe that it's all on your own and it's not coming from anywhere else?
Yeah.
Right now, be honest with me, a gay guy, a black guy, and a Jewish guy feel more comfortable walking down the streets 4 o'clock in the morning today or 100 years ago without getting beaten up?
I would say, depending on where they are.
Who's behind the corporation?
At some point.
Themselves, man.
Someone has to be in charge. What's their goal?
My man, what do you mean? The goal is the corruption of our minds, our brains.
No. What homeopathy actually is something that was invented a few hundred years ago that believes that water has a memory, and that if you take something that remembers something, you dilute it to a point that it has no active ingredient whatsoever, and you're giving water to another person. Are you pro or anti-vaccine?
Pro-vaccines. Whenever people just first of all, the study that was around 20 or 25 years.
The Wakefield study.
That was discredited.
All I want to know is that are you hardwired to believe that, or will you change your mind if you see that it's nonsense?
I'd rather research it myself, you know.
Right, that's what I'm saying. If you go and research it and see it, will you change your mind? I want to know that you're an open-minded person.
Yeah, if there's factual evidence, sure.
I'll tell you what, man. That L. Ron Hubbard.
Okay. Do I believe in the more, like, scientific aspects? Not really. Like, I don't believe that I would have a completely different personality, but...
So you believe it's bullshit? Let's just say it.
I mean...
You believe it's bullshit. It's bullshit, but it's fun to read.
Yeah, that.
I love you.
All right.
Good job, Josh. That was funny. So the best line by far was, so the AIDS vaccine goes to heaven?
Yes.
Are you kidding me? That was great.
That was definitely the best line.
So, Josh, you did a good job of just illustrating that there's a lot of people that believe in a lot of things and they don't have anything behind it other than the need to believe in something that makes them feel good. In a way, I could feel bad for those people. It's just, I find it hard to believe that they would be able to pull themselves out of those places. But that was funny. I thought that was good.
Yeah. So, all right, one last
18 minutes.
18 minutes. One last discussion topic. Might take us home. Winners and losers for the last 10 years. This is going to be our retrospective on the last 10 years of skepticism, of the movement, of us. Who falling? What do you think? Evan, this is your suggestion. You want to start us off?
Sure. I'll give you one winner, I think, and I'm going to give you one loser, okay? Let's talk about how private space flight has gone for the last 10 years, and I think that's definitely a winner. Did you guys know that NASA kept space flight essentially illegal up till 2004?
Private space flight.
Private space flight, I should say, right? Yep. Commercial Space Launch Amendment Act of 2004, though, required NASA and the FAA to allow for private space flight. So it's kind of a perfect retrospective in that sense, that it's basically been 10 years that we've been able to legally do it in this country.
Look how far they've come. Yeah,
just a couple of the Stratolaunch, Planetary Resources, Blue Origin, Virgin Galactic, SpaceX, and Bigelow Aerospace, which is building a space station, private space station.
Yeah.
Just to name a handful, and there's more on the way. And I think the future is very bright. And I think it is a very viable path, at least for companies associated with this country to take our space program.
There's a lot we can talk about. My first one I'll mention is the anti-vaccine movement. I think that they were in ascension when we started this podcast in 2005. Andrew Wakefield, published his study, was it 1998? The anti-vaccine movement predated that, but that really gave it a huge boost. So did David Kirby's evidence of harm, and it really was, still a growing movement. And I'm definitely on the positive side of its arc. Jenny McCarthy was making a lot of noise, Generation Rescue and the whole autism and vaccines thing. And now here we are, 10 years into our show, and they're definitely now on the downside. I think of that curve. We talked to the Australian skeptics, Richard Saunders, and the Australian skeptics have totally beaten back the anti-vaxxers in their country. I think, Jenny McCarthy really hasn't been around as much.
No, she's
anymore.
Kind of tailed off from that.
Yeah, we've the media no longer sees the anti-vaxxers as just like a legitimate opinion to go to. They're more the kooks, which is what they should be.
Yeah, they need to be marginalized. More marginalized.
Yeah, they're not going to go away, but they need to be marginalized. They've embarrassed themselves in a number of ways. The measles outbreak in Disneyland.
That's right. And there's
shown the harm that the anti-vaxxers do. So
that was a great catalyst. Real proof.
Really
that people can relate to, and that makes a difference.
Yeah.
So, I agree.
Well, I would say, I'd like to be positive and say, there's been some very strong successes. But I think more importantly to point out, there's always going to be a need for skeptical activism. We have some new people that have come up recently. That 10 years ago we didn't know about, like the Food Babe and Dr. Oz, right?
There's new fronts opening up.
Always. Yeah. So yes, the thing is, we could talk about the successes that the movement has had and fantastic work that we've done, and of course that's why we're doing this.
Yeah.
But this is generational, and we need people to do this forever.
Yeah, absolutely.
So. That being said, I like right now what's happening to Dr. Oz. He's starting to fray a little bit, right? The guy's probably worth tens of millions of dollars and everything. Yeah. But getting people like him off of TV and out of the ears of people that
even just it's okay to hold cranks accountable. Right. Even just that, the fact that he's. We said John Oliver eviscerated him on mainstream media outlet.
Hauled up in front of Congress.
It's okay to be skeptical. It's okay to be critical. It's okay to hold people accountable to some kind of standard. Just that bigger picture there. Regardless of what happens with Oz, if he survives this and continues to make millions, which he's probably going to, just the fact that this happened was awesome.
Yeah, it is awesome.
It was awesome.
And we have to. Our culture has been morphing to this. Everybody wins an award. Everybody's point of view. Everyone has the right to their point of view and all that. And I put it to you.
We won an award.
I put it to everybody. We have to start saying, no, that's wrong.
And it's okay.
You are entitled to do lots of things, but you cannot make up your own facts, and you cannot ignore the science anymore. It's just not acceptable anymore.
Your anti-science has no place here.
If you're going to get on a jet airplane, I love using the jet engine is so obviously science, and it's so awesome, and everybody uses it, and you can't use a freaking jet engine and get on that plane and then tell me that you believe in homeopathy.
Yeah.
You can't. It's just, you're a hypocrite. Everybody's a hypocrite. And I think our movement has to put our foot down and say, you know what, man is not created equal. We're not. Now, all knowledge is not created equal.
We got to be careful with that statement.
No, meaning man,
I know what you're saying.
Man is not created equal. Yeah, we are equal by law, but
we're equal by rights.
We're equal by rights and by law and all that. But all thoughts are not created equal. Everything is not equal in this world.
Not all claims to facts are necessarily equal.
That's right. Everything doesn't deserve the same amount of time. Everybody does not get. Everybody's ideas do not. Their ideas do not deserve.
So this is a bit of a tangent, but I mean, what you're talking about that reminds me of.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Of conversations I've had, like even just in like medical education, like the culture did shift. Whereas like 20 years ago, if a medical student said something wrong, they would be directly criticized for what they said. That's wrong. That's even stupid. You should be embarrassed for having said that. Crack a book. I'm exaggerating, but that's like not too far off. And there were. I'm not saying that. I'm not defending the harsher end of like that culture 20 years ago, but it's come so far. It's like you can't even say that somebody's wrong. They could say a fact that's incorrect. It's like, well, that's an interesting perspective. Let me give you a different perspective.
Why are we moving into this direction? Why is that?
Meanwhile, no, that's wrong, and you could kill somebody if you think that's correct.
Exactly.
But I do think that we've gone way too far to the
political correctness.
Correctness. Everybody wins, nobody's wrong. Everyone gets a gold star.
Everybody wins a trophy.
I get the kinder, gentler kind of approach to education, more nurturing. More carrot, less stick. I get that, but you have to be able to say this claim is better than that claim. This has facts and logic. This is not valid, or the facts are incorrect. If you obsess so much over not saying somebody's wrong, that then you lose the ability to distinguish reality from fantasy.
Exactly.
And I think we need to to get a little bit back more towards the balance of still saying what's wrong is wrong. It's okay.
Exactly.
Okay.
Have your way of communication be respectful,
They'll survive.
But I think it's so critical and so obvious that we need to be able to say that idea is wrong. Let's put it down and get rid of it now. We don't need to talk about this anymore. We don't need to have the same discussion over and over again.
Right. And I think, obviously we live in subcultures in our own little bubbles, but I do think that's one of the things about the skeptical community is that we're saying, hey, it's okay to say that this is this is the truth, this is reality, or this argument is compelling and that argument's crap.
Right.
It's okay to say that.
Yeah, it needs to be okay.
It's crap. Yeah, because the alternative is like if all knowledge is equal, then we literally know nothing.
That's right.
Right?
Exactly.
So guys,
Bob, what do you got? You have a positive?
Or
I want to bring up a negative too. I have a loser.
I got more. We got any winners or losers?
I think vaccine is one of the clearest, but it's funny. It's only really in the past couple of years has it really turned around. I would say, and even with Disney, I think was a decisive moment where the public kind of did an about face, or it seemed to. But I think homeopathy has taken a bit of a hit. I mean, there's been like big moves by countries saying no. This
the
is
FDA.
Britain.
Yeah, the
FDA is
so that's
taking testimony.
That's extremely encouraging.
Yeah, we're on the cusp. I think
about
of some
that.
big
So
movements
I think homeopathy, and it's kind of sad because homeopathy is the most egregious example of pseudoscience.
It's the lowest hanging fruit.
Right, and it's like that should have been eviscerated years ago. Not
better late than never, I
but,
suppose. Right. But all right. How's this for a loser, guys? Listen to this. All right. American education. Here's some statistics about science and math. 2003, United States ranked 19th out of 30 countries in the world. Every 3 years they retest. 2006 ranked 21st in science. 2009 ranked 17th in science. 2012 ranked 20th in science. Math. 2003 ranked 24th in science. 2006 ranked 25th in math. Thank you. 2009 ranked 25th in math. 2012 ranked 27th in math. We are losing the education battle.
Well, all right. I have
science.
to disagree with you a little bit there.
Okay.
I'm not going to defend the quality of our math and science education. We definitely need to make it better. But the international comparisons are really tricky because they don't follow the same standards. In other words, in the this is the one criticism that I've consistently heard of these international comparisons. In the United States, everybody gets tested, everyone's score gets counted. In other countries, they don't do that. They only the good students test.
You're saying they cherry pick?
They cherry pick.
Only the elite?
Yes, so it's not apples to apples. So you got to be. I'm not saying that it erases all of that. I'm just saying you can't take those numbers at face value. There's also other information, like for example, if you the professor who has been following the civic scientific literacy over the last 25 years, it's actually been improving in the United States and not other countries.
Have we had more room to have we had to make up more ground though?
Maybe, but still, we've been improving
to that point.
It's still pathetically low. Our scientific literacy is still pathetically low, but it's been improving over the last 20 years.
I hope so, but I don't.
So you can't look at any one slice of a statistic like that and come to any kind of broad conclusions. I got to just caution you about that. You have to look at those kind of questions from multiple angles, and it's not all doom and gloom. I do think that we need a huge, invigoration of our STEM education system, absolutely, and we have a huge ground to make up. And I think the levels of scientific illiteracy in our country are appalling. But there are some positive indicators, and you can't take any one statistic at face value like that. But
fair enough.
Anyway, it doesn't totally erase what you're saying. We're still. Why aren't we? Given our resources, we should be in the top 5.
I agree. I absolutely agree.
But
those numbers should be better than this, no matter how you're going to want to crunch the numbers.
Yeah. Guys, we have coming up just over 5 minutes, so let's.
6 minutes.
6 minutes.
Wow.
So I'd like to tell you guys, 10 years. I mean, here we are. This is our 10-year anniversary today.
Today.
What an impact it's had on all of us.
Yeah.
And not just
it changed your life.
It did. It changed my life. We together got to experience some incredible things, meet some truly great people, and I'm so humbled by the whole thing. I can't believe we're here already. 10 years. We had a lot of bumps through the years. We lost Perry.
Mm-hmm.
It was very sad that Rebecca left the show. I mean, I totally get it, and I'm happy for her and everything. But lots of things have.
Yeah, but it's all good. She's doing good work. We're continuing. I know transitions can be rough, and there's always a sadness when there's a change like that. But at the same time, absolutely, we're looking forward.
Oh no, without a doubt. I mean, we're like much earlier in the program, we committed to do another 5 years, and I'm really happy that.
I think there's going to be great things in the future for the SGU.
I absolutely agree. I think you and I have some good ideas cooking. So, but guys, I just want to thank you. You're a huge part of my life over the past 10 years in this work that we're doing, and this was work. This is a lot of work that we put in.
It is. I have to thank all of you guys as well, because everyone knows I'm sort of the ringleader here, and I cracked the whip quite a bit at you guys. Sometimes just to see how far I could drive you, but it's also
really
well, you know what I mean. I just need to know how much work I can get out of you guys, because when I'm planning,
if you don't squeeze, you don't get.
Like for example, a 10-hour show. This is a lot of work. I had you guys prep a lot of stuff we never got to, but I just need to know that if I ask you to do this level of work, you'll do
now
it.
You know. Don't ask.
You want me to hand you my papers so you can grade them?
I knew it coming in that I could ask you guys to do a ton of work, and you'll do it for me. And that's I couldn't be doing this if that weren't the case.
I didn't know it was a test.
We're all invested.
You know what I'm saying.
We're all invested in this.
Yeah. Over the years, I've learned I can count on you guys to work your asses off when we really need to. Because we are a team, and it is great. Obviously, I couldn't be doing this by myself. You guys
come close though.
It wouldn't be the same. It would be very different.
Think about how much we're accomplishing. It's directly proportional to the number of people who are supporting what we're doing.
Yeah.
It's as we said, not only the people in this room, everyone in this room, but 100 other people who collaborate with us on. We wouldn't have time to list all the people who we collaborate with.
No.
I mean, Jay and I have a hard time keeping track of all the people that do work for us. I mean, there's so many people.
It's a bevy of people.
And all of our listeners. I mean, they contribute to us. They're members. They spread the word. They get new people. They
we have the
give
best
us awards.
best podcasting audience in all of podcasting.
Yeah, so our listeners really mean a tremendous amount to us, really, because we would just be sitting around in our basement if it, if
entertaining ourselves.
We'd cool.
It's a cool basement, though, but it'd be good.
Right.
It looks good, and the future's bright.
I think so. But we have our work cut out for us.
Absolutely.
Because we're still a minority with a huge uphill battle. But I do, with the support that we have, it'll keep us going. I think another 10 years easy.
I think so.
Any closing thoughts, Jay? 3 minutes.
3 minutos.
You got 3 minutes to say whatever you want.
I'm trying to quote a sci-fi movie. there was I can't remember. Maybe you'll help me remember. There was a movie where they knew they were going to die, and they turn to each other and they say, "It was an honor serving with you."
It was Apollo 13.
Was it Apollo 13?
Yeah.
Like that's. I feel like I've just been blessed.
Star Trek episode.
I feel blessed that I we entered into this. We had no idea, but you guys have been awesome to work with. It's been a freaking awesome ride. All the things, I keep scrolling through the people that we've got to meet and the conversations that we've had, and it's just unreal that we got to experience all this. We're very lucky.
Christopher Hitchens.
We did.
Oh my gosh.
Very lucky.
And James Randi.
One of my biggest regrets, though, guys.
Worked with Bill Nye. We performed on stage with Bill Nye.
You know what? We would have met Carl Sagan if he didn't die of cancer.
I know.
We would have met Sagan. Could you imagine if
that was the only thing that could have made this whole thing better?
Gosh,
if he survived another decade.
I'll tell you what, though. I mean, I'm high school educated. I'm college educated. I had a degree. My education really didn't start until I left college and kind of got into the skeptical movement in the last, 10 and frankly the 18 years that we've been a skeptical organization has been the greatest education of my life. Continues to be. I've learned more in 18 years than I learned in my first 30 years of life, and I'm so looking forward to learning so much.
I agree.
More.
I mean, the thing I like best about academia is that you spend your whole life being a teacher and a student at the same time.
Yeah,
which is the best.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's what on this podcast. That's what we are too.
Absolutely.
Without a doubt.
We learn more. I think we learn more than we teach.
My gosh.
So
many experts and resources we have, that we
just
can
the whole process
on.
of doing the show is such a learning experience.
Without a doubt.
To me, that's the funnest thing to do.
Great education. This has been fantastic.
You really, Steve, you put this into us. You shaped the three of us significantly. And the skill sets. Steve taught us how to do research. Steve taught us how to sift through information. Steve, has given us such expert leadership throughout the years. You really are the SGU, Steve.
Well, I appreciate you saying that, Jay, but
you're the captain of the ship.
I'm the captain, but you guys are my crew.
Yep. So wear our hats and badges.
Yeah, where's our uniform? Secrets.
All right.
What a ride.
What do we got here? 44 seconds.
Got 44 seconds.
And it's 10 years in one day.
This is episode 512 went up today. We'll probably put like a best of reel for next week from this episode.
Mm-hmm.
So we will be, it looks like we recorded the whole thing, which is great, and even higher quality than what streamed. So we'll be putting out probably, Phil will be in charge of by something like 1 hour chunks on YouTube. So it'll be higher quality with no glitches or anything. So look forward to that. We'll get that out we will get that out as soon as we can. Thank you all for joining us. This has been a lot of fun. I can't believe the 10 hours and the 10 years went by so quickly.
Like that.
Thank you all.
Good night.